I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
And Merry Christmas, or at least Merry pre-shopping for Christmas. It's still...
Merry Christmas shopping season.
Hey, shop now, shop smart. 12 games of advanced strategy. These are the games. This particular list is if you know someone who is considered a gamer, they probably are the one who sent you the link to this list.
This is for you. let's be clear about this.
No. I can see you sending it to mom and say, Mom, these are the games I like.
And mom will be like, who is that fancy man in the red suit?
Let's get started. Here are 12 games. We each picked 4 that we think are great for people who love strategy games.
All right. I'm going to start off with my pick, Santa Maria. Santa Maria is a game that came out, I want to say, last year, something like that. It's still very fresh. And it is a game in which you are going to be sending out your workers, but those workers are represented by dice in the game. You are building up your board. You are going to be grabbing dice, either one of your personal ones or one from the center of the board, and activating rows and columns of buildings, doing all sorts of things, gathering resources, advancing on specific tracks. You are going to be sometimes spending money to activate buildings, gathering new buildings, all sorts of things. I really enjoy this game because it is, while very much a deep strategy game and there is quite a bit going on, everything works together beautifully, and you are often going to have those turns where you want to do several things, but you can only prioritize one or two of those. Okay, I'm going to make some money this turn by doing this, so I can turn around and spend that money and activate this building down here that I can't get to with any of my dice. It all is fantastic. They just came out with an expansion for this as well, but definitely would recommend you give it a go. Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
Anyway, what do you got?
That's not how I spell. Blood Rage is my
very similar to Santa Maria.
Very close.
Very similar. Basically, Blood Rage is where you are taking your clan of Vikings in a realm filled with Norse mythology, and you are trying to score the most glory, whether it's defeating your opponents in battle or dying in battle yourself and gracing the halls of Valhalla with your presence. You're drafting cards, and those cards are going to be used for a number of different things, whether it's making your clan different from somebody else's, giving your clan a certain power that other clans don't have, special fighting cards that give you more power in battle, more strength in battle, whatever it might be. But you're simply trying to score the most glory points, and there's a number of different ways to do so. It's one of my favorite games ever, and it is a great advanced strategy game. And if you purchase it for your significant other, they will be happy. That's Blood Rage.
All right. Coimbra.
Guaranteed.
Coimbra is my first pick here. Coimbra is a game in which you are, for the life of me, I don't remember what you're doing in this game thematic-wise because it's just getting a bunch of points in various ways. But it's fun because this game you roll some dice and then you will draft those dice and you're picking dice based on the number, which will let you buy cards. But the higher the number, the first chance you get to pay for cards, but you also pay more. And the color, which lets you activate these abilities, which will become cooler and cooler the more cards you get. Maybe getting green cards makes your money go up, and every time you take a green die, you get a bunch of money. So I like that aspect. There's a lot of other things. There's a map, and you go out and explore something or other. Who cares? But for the most part, if you like strategy and getting points in various ways and drafting dice, Coimbra is your game.
All right. Haven't tried that.
You won't.
My second pick is Australia with a Z in there. Australia is a game in which you are building tracks. You are developing part of the country, of course, of Australia. You are putting out farms, all of these things. And while this is happening, you're also fighting Cthulhu. Yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah, it
Last
makes
night,
sense.
my dreams.
Those two things go together like black coffee and dynamite. And so in this game,
certain times throughout the day that works.
Yeah, sure. I really like it because it has the development part of a pretty standard strategy game, but then a lot of combat as well, in which you have to recruit power, military power. You have to defend your lands, your railroad tracks. These monsters will eventually awaken themselves and start coming after you, so you need to be able to respond. And the game just has a lot of sort of interesting parts that don't normally go together that somehow really do work together. So Australia is for those out there that enjoy building up infrastructure, but a little combat sprinkled in there wouldn't hurt. Australia, that's my second pick.
My next pick for advanced strategy has a little bit of combat sprinkled in there as well,
Cthulhu?
and that is Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. You really are trying to just simply build up your own race of people, some
Peacefully.
alien race, of course peacefully. And the other people at the table apparently are not as bent toward peace as you are. So of course you have to defend your civilization, you have to build up its technology, you have to build up your military forces as well. Purely defensive measures, all of them, and it is a sprawling, epic, galactic battle for peace and coexistence. So that's Twilight Imperium 4.
Only time you'll ever hear that description used for that game ever. All right. My next one is Yellow and Yangtze. This is a sequel to a very popular game that came out in 2000 or 1999, actually, called Tigris and Euphrates. Yellow and Yangtze, you don't need to have played the earlier game. This is a game in which you are placing tiles on the board. It is you're trying to form groups of tiles that make these little kingdoms, and then these kingdoms will merge and they'll fight. It's a very simple game. You only have a few options in this game. You're trying to collect cubes of 4 different colors, and whichever color you have the least of at the end of the game, that's your score. So you're trying to collect as many as you can of all 4 colors. But you're also trying to fight each other over these kingdoms. It's a very vicious back and forth game where you're drawing tiles and playing them and attacking each other. It's really intriguing. There's really almost no other game on the market like it. Definitely check it out, but be prepared to want to slap the person you're playing against. Yellow and Yangtze.
Huh. Interesting. So let's say you like the theme of Santa Maria, you want to explore the new world, but you want to take that to a grander scale. Well, then Endeavor Age of Sail is going to be for you. Set in the same time period, you've now dealing with the entirety of Europe, and then other places on the board as well that you slowly open up and are able to explore, send your ships to, colonize, things like that. I like that the game is so simple. All you are doing is taking actions by deploying discs to different tracks or different locations on the board, and for every disc you send out there, you remove a token that was sitting there during setup, and that gives you either a bump up on one of your tracks, one of your many tracks. Maybe now you make more gold when you remove that disc, or that disc itself is a new action that you can cash in and send another disc out there. Now I have a fortress in this part of the world. You are going to be managing cards, you are going to be drafting new buildings at the beginning of every round, and once you play 7 rounds, each one fairly quick, you are going to decide who the winner is. I like that the new version of this game, this is also one that was out some time ago, been out of print for a while, Endeavor. Well, the new Age of Sail printing gives you all of that and a whole slew of new things to do. It's quite an impressive production. So Endeavor Age of Sail, I would definitely recommend.
Very pretty for sure.
If the gamer in your family is a Star Wars fan, my next pick is the game that you should stop everything right now. Well, maybe finish watching this video and go out and make sure you purchase this game for them if they don't have it already, because they might. It's called Star Wars in a Box from me, and it's the Star Wars Rebellion. Now, this is a game that can be played with 2 to 4 players. It's really a 2-player game. One person takes on the role of the Empire, the other person takes on the role of the Rebellion, and the Empire is trying to track down the Rebellion's hidden secret base, whereas the Rebellion's trying to, of course, cause as much trouble in a galactic sense as possible. All of the characters that you've come to love in the universe are there. You use them as leaders, as special abilities over here, different kinds of cards that are available. It's a great, great Star Wars game, and it really is an advanced strategy game. It's going to take you anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours to play this game, but you will not notice how long it is because the time just flies. Star Wars Rebellion, an absolute must for the Star Wars geek in your family.
Or maybe you don't want, maybe you want to be a little bit more realistic in your star exploration. So Terraforming Mars here. Terraforming Mars is an incredibly great strategy game. Now, some of you may be watching this. This is a game in which you are working together to terraform Mars, but you're trying to do it the best to get the most points. And you do so by playing cards and getting oceans out there, raising the temperature. Maybe you know someone who already owns this game, though. Well, several great expansions that have come out this year. You can pretty much pick any of them. Have come out since the last year, and they all really enhance the experience too. If you've never played it before, just get the base game, give it a whirl. It's a lot of fun though, as you build this tableau of cards in front of you, and you make different combos and do some cool actions, trying to get points various ways. Even has a little bit of take that in the game too. A lot of fun. Terraforming Mars.
My final pick here is a little bit of an older game, but it's a game that I still very much adore. This is Imperial Settlers, and I love card-driven, heavy strategy games. Imperial Settlers is going to allow you to take on a faction. You could be the barbarians, you could be the samurai, you could pick whatever you want. There's 4 in the base game, more in the expansions. And you are going to be gathering resources, and you are going to be developing new technology, taking new actions. You are going to be sometimes attacking your opponents. There's a lot going on in the game. I love that there's so much support for the game. There's a lot of expansions out there. Really, really like this one. Lots going on. Imperial Settlers.
My last pick for this
Advanced strategy list.
Thank you. Advanced strategy list. Thank you. Is another Viking-themed game, but this one is a little bit, just a smidge more abstracted than Blood Rage was. Champions of Midgard. Now, I usually don't say this, but if you buy Champions of Midgard, you really need to put at least a lot of thought into getting its expansions as well, because the expansions really do enhance the gameplay that much. Well worth your time. You'll find that more than likely you'll find yourself playing with all of the expansions every single time you play the game. It's not one of those things where you can just leave them out. But anyway, Champions of Midgard is a game where you are placing your workers on different spots on the board, trying to get different kinds of resources so that you can send your boats off to foreign shores to fight monsters, to pillage different areas and that type of thing, all to score more points. With the expansions, those Vikings that die on those expeditions don't go to waste. They go to Valhalla, and you can use their spirits, I guess you could say. I'm really kind of theming it out here, to get different things as they're residing in Valhalla as well. So it's a great game, one of my favorite worker placement games. Champions of Midgard, and don't forget the expansions.
Well, speaking of that, the last game I have on the list here today is Scythe. Scythe is a very popular game. If you've seen it, it shows these, it looks like a 1920s motif of an alternate history where there's giant mechs walking around. It's really cool. It takes place over in Russia, basically, and there's different factions, and it looks like a war game, but there's a little bit of fighting in it, but there's also gathering resources, moving them around, and really good strategic decisions in this game. And every game's going to be different because you'll have a different combination of a faction and then kind of a strategy board that you put together. A lot of fun. But if you already have Scythe, or you know someone who has Scythe, this year they came out with Rise of Fenris, which was one of the best expansions ever. Takes you through a storyline, adds some really cool things that I will always play with in my Scythe games. It's a great gift for someone who already has Scythe. But if they don't, then definitely get that special someone in your life yourself, Scythe. So these are great advanced strategy games that we've picked. We definitely recommend you get them for the gamer. I wouldn't get these for someone who's never played games before, but if they do like games, these are good choices for them. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
Sam Healy. Merry Christmas.
Woohoo!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.